Hi, my name is Rizzo, and I want to share my story of my type 1 diabetic diagnosis. I am extremely brand new at this. I literally have only found out that I am a type 1 within 3 weeks ago, and I definitely want to share my story. I am in my 40s. A little background, other than having a thyroid and Graves' disease, which is a medically induced thyroid issue, I am healthy. I don't take any medications. I've always kept my thyroid and Graves' disease in remission for the last 6 years from diet and exercise. So, a pretty healthy person. I found out June 9th that I'm a type 1 diabetic. And about 5 days before that, I went into the DKA, which is the diabetic ketoacidosis. I had woken up in the middle of the night with extreme dry mouth. Now, I'm talking like sandpaper dry mouth. And I was extremely thirsty. I would get up in the middle of the night about every hour to 2 hours, and I pretty much raided my fridge and drank gallons of liquids. I drank regular milk, chocolate milk, orange juice, water, tea, pop, anything that I could get my hands on. I drank it all day and all night. And then I actually had my husband tell me one day that my breath smelled like Fruit Loops. And again, I just was like, wow, I'm drinking a lot of orange juice, so that makes sense. I also dropped 20 pounds within 5 days, which I knew was really odd. Women at my age just don't drop 20 pounds like that. So I knew something was wrong. I was tired all the time. I took naps for like 6 to 8 hours. My stomach had a pain in it every time I ate. I didn't really have an appetite. I just did not feel good. And I thought, yeah, I need to go see the doctor. So by the time I got to my doctor appointment, it had been 5 days of doing everything that I had done. And I really thought it was my thyroid. So that's how I presented it to my doctor. So he kind of thought the same. I went to my appointment at 8:30 in the morning, and at 5:30 at night, after my doctor's office was closed, he called, and I knew something was wrong. Like, he doesn't call after the office is closed. And the first thing he told me was, hey, guess what? It's not your thyroid. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, what's going on? And that's when he let me know that my blood sugars were really, really high, and my urine had 4+ ketones, which meant I obviously was peeing pure sugar out, which wasn't good. So he had me come back in the office within 2 or 3 days, and I was given my first insulin pen of long-acting Basaglar, and went home and gave myself that shot, which with the nursing background, I wasn't scared at all of doing that part of it. I woke up the next day and went throughout the day pretty good, but I did have some odd side effects from it that first day, and then I had some other symptoms that were kind of unusual within the first 2 weeks, which I'm glad to say all have went away. So I will probably do a video just on that later. But I found out my doctor was an out-of-network provider, so I then had to switch doctors during all this newness, and was lucky. I found a new nurse practitioner, and I love her. She was really great. I took in a ton of questions, even as a nurse, being newly diagnosed. I had a ton of questions, like, I probably could do a video on that because there was a ton of them and more that just kept popping up later. But She set me also up with a diabetic nutritionist and went over all of that information with me. And I'm thankful because I've in the past used an app on my phone that kept track of my food intake. And then I also kept track of my macros, which is, of course, your fats, proteins, and carbs. So I have experience on that already too, which makes it a little bit easier. But when my doctor sent me home with a lot of prescriptions and I had to go pick it up the next day, I was thinking, no big deal. I can give myself shots. I can do blood sugars. It's not that bad. And I sat down and spread out all the supplies on my kitchen table. And I was home by myself. And I just remember thinking reality hit. And this was going to change my life 360 degrees. I would never go another day without checking my blood sugar. And it hit hard. And I started crying. And I had lots of crying episodes for the first, 2 weeks probably. I would just have a lot of emotions and ups and downs and was, angry. I was upset. I thought, why me? And I, tried to live my life to avoid something like this happening. So it was a shock, and I'm still, trying to adjust to all of the information and what I'm doing and what I'm having to do. So I actually started having some blurry vision also when I started taking insulin. I, had some different effects of it. I thought it was my phone, and I had an old phone, and so I thought, no big deal, it's just my phone. But little did I know, it was the diabetes. I couldn't see anything far away. Everything up close was sharp and detailed, and then it switched where I could see everything up close, but nothing far away, and then everything went blurry, far away and up close. So I did get in to see the eye doctor, hence my new glasses I've been wearing for the past 4 weeks. And I have different levels of readers that my doctor is allowing me to do, different strengths. We started with the stronger one, which was 4.0s. And I wore them for a little over a week, and my eyes started adjusting or changing. So then it got blurry again. So now I went down to the 3.25s that I'm currently wearing. I have some 2s and I have some 1.5s, I think. And hopefully, as time goes on, my eyes will just keep getting back to normal and I can adjust and wear those. But I wouldn't recommend just going, definitely I went to the eye doctor to have an exam to check out those vessels behind my eye to make sure that everything looked good, because my eyes did hurt. I did have headaches from my vision going blurry. I had some dizziness because obviously going from perfect, better than 20/20 sight to everything's blurry. It's bad. It's scary. I'm obviously still in that stage. If I take off my glasses, everything's blurry. So yeah. So I just wanted to share my story because one of the first things I did when I was diagnosed is I ran home and got on YouTube. I wanted to find out, does anyone else have a story like mine? Am I the only person? Am I alone? And I remember searching newly diagnosed or just diagnosed, type 1 diabetic in my 40s as an adult, and I did find others out there. And I think I still watch a lot of different people in their videos on so many different things. One of the first videos I watched after watching newly diagnosed and their stories on how they were diagnosed. I also watched like a day in the life of a diabetic, and that helped me so much. And that's what made me think I need to do this too, because it gave me hope. It made me smile again. I was able to watch people that, you know, go on a weekend trip, or just how they get ready to go to the grocery store, what they bring, how they get organized, you know, what they do. And it gave me hope that they're running around doing their lives as normal as possible. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt, and it takes a lot more work, and you're constantly got to deal with it. You don't get a break. But somehow they do it, and they do it pretty nicely. So it just gave me hope that I can be just as active as I have been in my lifestyle and be able to manage it. So if you are a newly diagnosed type 1, like myself, or if you know someone, or maybe you've had it for a lot of years, and I think that making videos for others to see, you know, your ideas and how you organize and what you do for it, just is amazing, because, you know, you learn so much in a very short amount of time, talking with and chatting, texting with other people with the disease. So that's my story, and I will hopefully get some more videos out shortly. I want to do them as I progress through this disease, just so, you know, others can know, you know, what I've been through, and possibly what they, you know, could use for information. So thank you for watching, and see you guys soon. Bye.